Okay, let's test this out here. Let's do a test here. Fuck. So, I'm not sick right now, but I was recently sick. Wasn't really exciting. I have been improving, constantly. But that's not really the concern or focus of this video. I could always go on and on and on about achievements, achievements. Really, for me, it's just financial shit, which I have started on. Um, but that's not even really the concern or point of this video. It's about the level of retardation, the dumbing down, the sterilization. I'm not even going to look at this stream. I'm not replying to comments. I might just turn comments off because I don't make this channel for the input of others. It's not a narcissistic thing. It's just you have to show me something creative or exceptional for me to give two fucks about you. I don't try to have fun anymore. I just find the things that are interesting are a step to having what people call fun. For example, I don't really go to certain bars to actually have fun, but sometimes I do meet different people when I'm in the mood for escapism. And when I wear my black eye contacts and basically am the devil there in the room, people start opening up to you and saying very interesting things to you. Um, and in my opinion, there are a lot of fake fucks. But if you want the truth out of people, or if you want to weed out fake fucks, being a controversial figure is a great way to do that. So I'll wear black eye contacts, and it's so normal to me. I don't even care about filming myself when I do it anymore, because I don't even do it to film myself that way anymore. That has just really become an internalized part of myself, and that's kind of what I want to talk about today. I have a relationship with depression and suicide. Now, I'm not planning on ending my life or anything like that anytime soon, but I do have a relationship now with those themes, with those topics, with those ideas. It is very integrated into a lot of what I'm working on creatively. Right now, I should be working on music, but I just feel very, I need to be up for in the right mood to do certain things like that, because that I should be working on that, and I have started on my third vocal cover. It's going to be fucking insane whenever it's out. I'm thinking mid spring, but that takes a lot of energy. It's very stimulating hearing, especially my vocals of all people, roaring and screaming, and it's cool. It's badass, but I was just recently sick, and that dragged out for like a month. I trained harder. I ran for fucking 12 hours. Well, 8 hours of it was running, 4 hours walking. You know, I did curl 180s barely, but I did barely curl it. So I'm not getting weaker, but sometimes you're really burnt out if you're trying to exercise and then you have a job and then you have school and then you're a metal vocalist. Luckily, in today's climate, we do have the ability to manage everything more efficiently, to schedule. But I'm just fucking out of it right now. Like, I am doing better. I am getting leaner. I'm already finding more ways to improve and fix my diet from before. But, when I do those long runs, those runs take the fucking life out of me and soul out of me. That's why I don't run all the time. But I do need to push further and further. And those types of, some of this training, it can really fucking kill your soul, is what I'm saying. But that's kind of all there is to do because I would rather suffer and do that than be around people. And I'm not trying to call myself some monastic monk, right? I still use the internet, I still live among society, but I try to be on the edge. Because modern people, they're too fucking busy trying to please others, trying to pander to a system. It is pathetic. You know, online, it's this people pleaser shit. Like, I can tell when your heart's not in it. If your heart's in it, it would show. I don't care if you want to, like if you're an attractive woman, if your heart's not in it, you're not even gonna last 10 seconds around me because I don't know why people are so sterilized. You know, it's like I just want to fucking live and breathe, and then I can't go and wake up without being blasted by some bullshit, even on YouTube sometimes. So I have to, again, turn off channels. It's all this shit in your face, day in, day out. You know, suddenly people who claim they're against pedophilia are, guess what, threatening to younger kids. Wow, go figure. Tell me what's new. It. Anyways, again, have to rethink my schedule. Unfortunately, this is life. What I've realized, a big part of life is sometimes you have to keep moving. You have to keep restructuring things because sometimes what you think is your foundation just comes to shit and just comes to fall. As long as you're progressing from where you were before, that's what matters, is what I've realized. Because there are so many quote unquote structures that appear stable and secure and yay, and then you realize, oh, your privacy is being invaded on. Oh, this is way more draining than I thought. Oh, so the best thing you can do is just keep doing what you have been doing. As you get older, as you get more experience, I've noticed over time things have overall gotten easier. I've gotten more structure in my life. But, you know, that was not by seeking comfort necessarily. Comfort can come after, reward can come after. When you're younger in life, it's going to be pure fucking hell. But if you get certain certifications, if you say get a guard card, now you get the certification for school, you know, this trade school, it, you know, things do eventually level out. But, even then, it's like, that doesn't mean I won't still grief. I think I'm always grieving. I'm not the type of person to try to be a whiny bitch and a victim, but everything I see around me now really does sadden me deep down. So I understand from the perspective of a creative why you might feel suicidal in this world because this world is killing your passion. It is killing your creativity. It is fucking killing everything. And I'm not some pseudo intellectual. I reject Christianity down to the fundamental core of it. I reject just about everything there is about it. I'm not one of these people that's going to tell you, oh, yeah, you're going to die and get reincarnated. Yay. No. I'm a very, very, very satanic Gnostic, but I'm not of the. I'll put it this way. I am a Satanist. I'm a hardcore devil worshipping fanatic. I have literally the sigil of Lucifer right now scarred into my fucking forearm, and I'm gonna get it tattooed over. But those things being said, I don't support necessarily all of what's going on right now in the world with Satanism. I feel like this planet is very Christian leaning. And I feel the Abrahamic system is very oppressive. But I also understand there is a side to that system that actually benefits Satanists and sometimes even Jews. But you got to be careful around Judeo or satanic people, and you got to know what they're fighting for before you can trust them. Modern people don't have a solidified identity on anything. Their foundations are very weak and can crumble at any second. I'm saying this even on my path. My foundation can be that way, but I at least understand more or less the presence of what I am dealing with at some level. I understand its influence. I at least know what I'm working with did me a lot more of a service when Christianity was fucking me over, and I don't want to leave it behind, actually. When God failed me, Satanism actually helped me in many ways. That aggression gave me the fire I needed to continue on. But now I do feel like I'm more burnt out. I can still push hard, I can still go hard, you know. But when you've done a 12-hour cardio session, your body takes at least a few weeks to recover fully. Now you can still do things in the meantime. You can still cut down. You can still improve at other things. Yeah. But if you ran, say, 30 miles and you're not used to that, it can take your body a solid few weeks to recover. And I'm going to be completely honest, guys. I don't give a shit about most of you who view this channel. I really don't. I don't want to sound narcissistic, but it's like, unless you're actually out here creating something, fighting this battle with us, even if you're a Christian, if you're at least fighting this battle and you're really fighting all out and you're pushing yourself past the limits of what you think you can do constantly, or at least trying to, you're like, skull crushing will, then I salute you. I respect you. If you're an artist who's actually in a band or making stuff, putting stuff out online, and you're really putting your soul into it, I salute you. But a lot of you are not really fighting a real war. You're fucking role playing and you're playing make believe in this spiritual community. A lot of you have absolutely nothing going to you, and you don't even have a small chance at getting out of even the first layer of this matrix. A lot of you can barely understand how you're even in a matrix, but you still bandwagon this shit for profit and views. That's why I had to cut off from some of you, because some of you in the truther community I'm talking about, right? Just a few years ago, you were open to the idea of questioning this realm. Now you need everything standardized, institutionalized, and told to you from a more mainstream view. Like, you know what's going on, but you're denying it because you want it to be explained to you in a way that fits a status quo. And so I look at that like, well, what the fuck then? You're just lying to yourself willingly. I'm no genius, but you know, a lot of you have the intelligence is at an all-time low. The curiosity is kind of gone. The institution of nothing has kind of killed the curiosity in people. And I would understand Satanism as a curious explorer seeking deeper insights into things, somebody who wants to make the system work more effectively in their favor. But a lot of you now kind of have this right hand path thinking, even more so now with social media. It is so fucking invasive. I don't ever think anyone can fully achieve living the left hand path lifestyle in this life. I think to do so, you would be very suicidal very often, and fighting a heavy war all the time. I think you would basically be living out in a ditch because you understand the way of things today is very superficial, and you would reject that thinking and say, I have more dignity living that way than living like most of you. In some ways, that would be Left Hand Path because they're all about hardcore living, no comfort, right? Sleep on concrete. Again, not condoning this, not saying I want to do that, but I am saying, many people would need a harsh lesson to learn from where they're at right now to begin to appreciate living again. But God forbid I rest my body on hard concrete and learn just a small taste of what discipline, true discipline is, right? Again, I wouldn't want to make a lifestyle habit out of that, but I am open to harsh conditioning. I've laid 300 pounds of weight casually on my chest. I've worn 5 layers of compression. To most people, that is psychotic and inhuman. That is running out of oxygen. That is, uh, anyways, I have trained at levels where it's like, yes, I enjoy suffering. Suffering is fun, and it can be used as a tool to rebuild yourself. We are talking Navy SEAL, if not harder levels of strength. We are talking disciples of Satan, real, real Satanism. Not sitting on your phone, stroking your clit all day, being a fat cunt playing make believe. That kind of boring NPC like behavior can be found with an average girl. Why would I want a Satanist to do that? We didn't come to Satanism to be average, to succumb to that. Again, I don't like making these types of videos, but I'm trying to give you guys a little bit of a reality check if you haven't had one or need one, and myself included, because I do watch these, and say, like, guys, modern society is fucking sterile. I don't care about your uh, sexual identity, gender identity. This video isn't even about race specifically, though I do have my views on race, but this is just the general truth, you know. Um, Things are spinning faster, things are going faster. And the sad thing is, it's nothing new. It's just being done more and more repetitiously. When you look at politics, like if you voted, you're a faggot, I hope you hang yourself and just die. I'm sorry, I'm going to be brutally honest to strangers watching this channel. That's all I have to say. You're so fucking brain dead. I wouldn't even calling you a dumbass would be genius compared to where you're at right now. If you support this war, you're a fucking dumbass. If you're a leftist, you're a fucking dumbass. Although right now, no, I don't want to say that because they're always no, not even going to go there. So, um, I don't need to say much. If you support Iran going to war, if you support Israel, fuck them all. Not even going to go there today. You should know this by now. If you're in the quote unquote truther community, you should know this. We shouldn't even have to explain some things because we'd be over explaining. We're not here to explain ourselves to so called superiors who know nothing. We don't play into their handbook of reality. If you're a stupid fuck, if you support Biden or Trump, you're a dumb cunt. You should slit your. Anyways. So, um, yeah, talk about reductionist thinking, talk about dumbing down society to new lows. Um, when you talk to modern people, they are so brain dead and superficial. They have such low social skills. A person with a spine now is kind of seen as menacing, intimidating, dangerous, just for existing. They're trying to outlaw, we're really seeing it now. They're trying to outlaw tough men or women from existing. They're trying to outlaw, unless you have money and can buy yourself out of this bullshit, which is a good strategy. You should do that while you can before the economy really collapses. Because right now, if you want to get a 6-figure job and still own something, it may not be a house, but guess what? You could own something and rent it out to eventually get a house. You still could. You should while you can. Right now, I'm working a lot of extra overtime shifts to save up for what I want, and I might just keep doing it until there's a really massive gap between me and most people. I might just keep doing that. I might just get a better job soon and then keep doing that. I don't trust where we're at as a world right now. I try not to talk to people because even simple people online who are neurodivergents are still very retarded. They don't know how to put one and two together. They don't know how to, I'll put it this way, what's happening right now in the world does not bother them. And that is concerning. They're not, keep in mind, they're affected by everything happening right now. They're not people living out in yachts, in forests. They're online, they're still a part of society. But everything that's happening in society right now doesn't bother them. A lot of people are so far up, have their heads so far up their own ass, even when they're directly being invaded on and hurt, they don't seem to care. They just keep taking the beatings from society, from everything around them. When I go to bars, I don't necessarily go there with the intent of always, quote unquote, just letting loose and having fun. Sometimes, once in a while. But if I go there, I would say once every few months on average, maybe once a month, if that. I try to find interesting people and I try to learn more because at the end of the day, that's all we really can do is get knowledge. Why do people have such, you know, radicalized views? I'll just say this, I am conservative leaning, but I don't support anyone right now. I support the values, not the people claiming. They're talking about using AI to replace. Again, I'm not about this LARP. There's some truth in it, but it's not, I think it's a distraction. I think the biggest threat right now to us is still foreign invasion, foreigners taking our jobs. But then they're talking about AI taking our jobs and their jobs. And then they're talking about making us pay to use AI, to be slaves to AI if we're lucky, so we can what? Use AI in our day to day lives while we continue to rinse and repeat. Social credit, chat GPT taking data, all this stuff. And okay, a leftist is saying this, but his points actually stand true when he's talking about Trump and all of this. Now, I support AI being used, but this guy said very clearly AI is a tool to be used, not your God, not your higher power. Now, I would say this as a Satanist, I have mixed views on this. I think we can use AI and create our own AI. And I think that right now would be booming in the soon future. You can make your own future with that stuff. And that would be a lot more profitable. So you should learn how the system works to create your own shit that could someday blow up in the near future, in your lifetime. That is what left hand path people in Satanism should be doing right now. If they have half a fucking brain and know anything about tech and have any tech skills. I don't have very much. Well, I'm really dumb right now. Very lethargic. Sorry, forgive me for that. I have some skill with it. I have the potential to do these things within my lifetime. Doesn't mean it will happen, but there is the possibility that I could learn this. Because I'm sure it's actually very simple. Just figuring out how to create it from scratch. This is why people get into coding. This is why apparently this guy was talking about Linux and how that, anyways, because he wants people to stand a chance against big corporate America, right? Now he was talking about how it's not even whether you're pro-capitalist, fascist, anti-fascist, socialist, communist. while I would say I lean capitalist, I see what he's saying. It's the fact that no matter what system there is, the people in power on either side just don't give a fuck, period. They're hurting you and harming you, and it doesn't matter what system is in place if their intentions for you are bad. And you know what? That's fucking true. That's fucking true. We are electing people who don't give a shit about us. Now, this whole video isn't going to be about politics, but what I am saying is, so if that's true with simple politicians, with who we do see, and we see these people in front of our faces killing us, and we continue enabling it, what makes you think you're any more safe with the unknown, with what you don't see, with all the people behind the scenes fucking you over? Now, again, I don't usually talk about the people in power. Why? Because we'll never fully understand and we'll never know. But I am emphasizing this is why I don't partake in a lot of the bullshit that they continue to do to us. And if you do participate or fund that, fuck you, is how I would say. Sorry, is what I would say to that. So, um, you know, simple as that. I look at a lot of people who do still participate and play these games, and there's a few more things to address here. It's not just voting, okay? There is a different type of evil that we have not really cracked down on, and this is even more simplistic than voting. This is what we do on a day-to-day basis, but no one is disturbed by this. It's sheep thinking. It's sheep living a very sheep-ish lifestyle where every aspect of their life is already very controlled, with or without AI, is very conformist, very weak, submissive behavior. I don't understand what the fuck is wrong with modern men and women. It seems like they are allowed to be liberated and free, right? And not a part of gender societal norms only when it's in a submissive way. So you want to break free, right? But you're only doing it in a way that is submissive to become a slave to a worse or evil. I don't like the traditional gender structure. I don't. But becoming more submissive to an external government is not the solution. Becoming a slut or hoe used up by anybody in the system to ultimately become even more consumed is not the solution. Becoming a big star, right? Whoring yourself out, selling your soul for to be a slave, right? To actually have even less freedom, to wind up for most of you becoming more impoverished than you were before, you know, internally and out, is not the answer. I'm not hating you if you're an artist or a rock star and you're making it, if you're doing well, if you enjoy it, if you're passionate. That's not who I'm talking about. I'm talking about a lot of these big brands, though. A lot of this goy slop now in the industry. Okay, a lot of this horse shit. I'm not talking about the creators. I'm not talking about the hardcore adrenaline metalheads right now. I'm talking about this bullshit pop star shit. You know, I don't hate all pop culture, but there's a good portion of it that's just goy slop straight up, right? Um, anyways, I have a fair I have a fair share of popular influences. I'm not saying that all of it's bad, but a lot of it is underwhelming, is mediocrity all around. And that's really what I'm going to talk about here. And I'm talking about this here because this thinking is all over the supposed conspirators, Gnostics, curious minds. This thinking is all over them, is littered in their entire philosophy. I think the panel verse on YouTube for this, because so called truthers stopped really questioning anything. Sometimes you don't need to go all out into outer space and black holes and quantum physics. And I love that shit. It's interesting as hell. But sometimes you just need to look right here on planet Earth what the fuck is wrong in the simple day to day life. You worship Yahweh, the God who is connected to Moloch and Baal. You hate Satanists for what? Sacrificing kids to Moloch and Baal, specific types of Satanists. But then you turn around and worship the Christian God? Yah fucking way? Huh? Anyways, hypocrisy. Full on. At least admit you're evil if you're going to do that. Now, there are a few exceptions. There are a few people where their mind and heart is still in the right place. But a lot of you are deceitful pricks. A lot of you are evil, and you know it deep down. And then you go around doing this shit. Are you any different? And if you are you any better? I think a lot of you are jealous. But I'll be right back. These are just some things to think about, but I'll talk more about just the simple day to day. Again, everyone's talked about it, but I'm talking about this from the perspective of not just somebody who acknowledges this is the state of things. I am coming at this from the perspective of somebody who health wise and physically has essentially made it compared to 99.9% of you. I have made it in health. I'm not free of all forms of entrapment and restriction. I am still very much under a lot of restriction and control. As long as you exist in this life, you will be under an intense amount of control and limitation, no matter how exceptional you are. That's just the truth of it. Sometimes we even need certain rules to exist. But I don't believe we should be confined completely. But we are going to always be very confined as long as we live in this life, if that makes any sense to many of you. That's inevitable. But what a lot of you are doing is also unnecessary and not the solution, and condemnation. Very few people care about getting out of this system. I'm not even telling you guys that I necessarily even care about fully escaping everything within the matrix. I don't. But I have a lot more care and consideration of my well-being while I am here than many of you, and I am a devil worshiper, which should tell you something about maybe what the fuck is wrong here. Because a lot of you in the Gnostic groups don't even really seem to seek anything higher than knowledge. And don't get me wrong, knowledge is good too. I also seek knowledge, right, as a Luciferian. But I have never seen so-called Luciferians become so apathetic and uninterested in seeking higher knowledge. And I think the issue is when the idea of knowledge becomes way more subjective than objective. I guess this is what I would say. As a devil worshipping Gnostic, Luciferian, Freemason, all those things, I seek knowledge that has an objective. Because this life, yes, knowledge can help you, but if you don't have an objective, you're fucked. It's that simple. I seek objective knowledge then. If there is such a thing, I seek the closest thing to what is objective then. A lot of you don't even have that. You don't have a mission. This life is very fucking short. We don't have trillions of years to sit there with a book of masonry and say, hey, I'm almighty Gnostic here. Don't get me wrong. No shame to you. If you enjoy doing that, do that. But if you don't have an objective, if you're just bitching and whining, you're kind of fucked. So we should be seeking then for objective knowledge, not subjective knowledge. If you're going to be that way your whole life, at least admit it beforehand and then hang out and associate with like-minded people in your state of depression. is my advice to you if you are a Gnostic who is just going to rot your whole life to the core. But I'm simply saying there are many simple fixes, at least to your health. I can at least give any and all of you, if you really want it, solid advice that is going to miraculously fix your body if you don't mind a small amount of discomfort. I don't believe in being consumed by consumption that makes me sick. Modern people in relationships who throw themselves away over that kind of trivial shit is they make me sick. The social climate of people and the psychology of modern humanity also makes me sick. In some ways even more sick. But I'll be back. These are just some thoughts I had. I wanted to share them. If anyone even gave a shit, probably not. Doesn't really bother me. Um, just getting my thoughts out because sometimes you have to vent, and it's better to vent in a way that's constructive that I can record and keep track of. I say this every time I do a live stream, than to talk to somebody who doesn't really give a shit. It's kind of sad that I say this, but I think that I'm getting a lot more out of sharing thoughts on YouTube that I can check, reflect on, or I'm getting a lot more out of maybe somebody actually finding this and learning from it, even if they don't know who I am, than I probably do wasting my time socializing online. But I'll be back. So, as many of you now know, I have been not necessarily off the grid for the last 2 years. I have still been working and I have still been climbing that ladder slowly but surely. Um, but I have been what many of you would call isolated. So when you live in the modern world, in pretty much anything 2020 and post 2020. You'll notice most people in jobs are very chaotic and very terrible to be around. Many people, period, lack basic social skills. Um, what I mean by this, and I'm not very critical, I'm not judgmental, right? I'm not here to judge the fuck out of you. This is what I mean when I say social skills. I don't give a shit how nice you are to a stranger. I don't think you need to be apathetic to strangers. You can be, I guess, if they seem cunty to you. But I don't even mean being apathetic, empathetic, sympathetic. Just don't be anything to them. Live and let live. It's pretty easy. I won't be apathetic to you unless you're apathetic to me. If you look at me and then look away, whether you think I'm attractive or not, I'm gonna flip you off unless I'm at work. Um, you know, that's very cunty behavior. So-called women who supposedly have social skills, because again, it's the psychology of people that disturbs me, and this is why I'm becoming more avoidant, and will look for more ways to become more avoidant while still making money. It can happen. It can work. Believe me, it will. So yeah, it's behavior like that where it's like people say women do that because you're attractive. I don't think so. But if that is the case, that's making attractive men feel very suicidal. You're so intimidated by a person that you'd punish him for his looks and make him feel like he's being rejected. That's not respectful. And yeah, I don't stare at him creepily, but it's like it's not rocket science. Yeah, being looked at is creepy, but intentionally looking away from somebody is also just disrespectful as hell. I don't look ugly. I don't need to be stared at. It's people have this very if I can't have you then fuck you kind of way of thinking, or you're not good enough to even be in my presence way of thinking, and it's kind of like you just don't have to acknowledge the person. This is just the body language of modern people. Just their body language disturbs me. Or people will walk up to you and compliment you and then be intimidated by you and walk away. Like, this is really cunty behavior. I don't know about you guys, but I would say no wonder, attractive men feel suicidal. And I'm going to say attractive because I don't give a fuck about you if you're not. And I am not saying that to men who have been born with a disability, but I'm just talking about across the board. Um, it's not that hard to stay lean. Right now, I'm not as lean as I'd like to be, but I'm almost there. Train hard once or twice a week in the gym, maybe 3 times, if I'm being honest. Wear a bunch of compression throughout the day or when you sleep. I'm going to go back to doing it when I was asleep. And yeah, diet well. Eat only salad and fish. I'm eating fish right now to cut down. Works instantly. Maybe not instantly. Works within a few digestion periods, as gross as that sounds. Eat salad. You'll be all right. Um, Beyond that, if you're trying to fuck out of your lane, if you're trying to, I don't know, if you don't have those traits, at least accept where you're at in life, have a spine, and live and let live. That's all I have to say. Otherwise, if you're loathing, I don't know what to tell you. I still am a person who is loathing, yes. But I'm loathing because it hurts to be around people now. It fucking hurts. Because sometimes I just want to go to places that are marketed for the weird, alternative, different people. But you can't be scary looking. Really? Really? I thought this was the land of the free. I thought America was built on rebellion, on edgy traits. You see how this goes hand in hand with goth culture? I thought this was a place that was established against oppression, but creativity is at an all time low. Yes, it's exceptionally thriving, in many ways with music, because music is never meant to be secularized and mainstream controlled. So, yes, when it comes to music, it's doing really well, no matter what establishment is in place. But I'm talking about among the collective masses, among almost every part of social public society you go, that's not the truth. It's quite the opposite. You go out in public and you're kind of oppressed. People are trying to insinuate control if they can't assume it directly. It's like I'm all for women being fierce and aggressive and training hard, but in the workplace, it's a lot of they're just there to try to seduce. And if they're not doing that, they're impositional more than men actually now, to be honest with you, in the workplace. And it's usually the lower value people in the workplace, unless they're younger, just starting out in life. If they're, I hate to say that, but it's true. Depending on which words, like in the medical industry, it makes sense. But if they're in a job that's primarily male, competing with men, just saying. And if they're doing well at their job, that's one thing. But if they're always whining, not discussing, you know, just saying, oftentimes there's a pattern there. Like we're in a job that is distant from people, but they're trying to. A lot of people just don't belong in the workplace, and they are there. People would say that about me, but I don't bitch. I get my shit done. I still do extra work, you know. I tend to be reliable, even if I'm a little late sometimes. I don't usually call off, right? You see what I'm saying? I'm not bickering. I'm not looking for extra governance like most people. I'm not insinuating things about their culture views. You don't fucking know me, you know? It's that simple. But a lot of people in the workplace are. In the gym, same shit. Like, you're there trying to get fucked. You're there trying to stare. You don't fucking know me. Do you think a goth person gives a, especially a metalhead, a Satanist? And like, I wear killer t-shirts now in the gym. I don't give a shit. Sometimes I say the lyrics to offensive songs out loud. People usually know that though, so they don't usually try to ban me for it. But I'm just saying, gotta be careful though, because sometimes there are lyrics like, um, "If you want to see me fail, I say it nice and loud. Eat dick." Like I'll say that out loud to the lyrics of the song I'm listening to. Why? Because a lot of people want to see me fail, and I'll say it nice and loud. I'm not passive. Not passive with people. And if I don't like you, usually my face says it all. If I'm genuinely attracted to you, usually I'll get calmer around you. Usually. But if people start smiling and acting all bubbly around me, and it's not circumstantial but constant, and I don't know you, means I don't fucking know you. I don't trust people. If I know you a little more, then yeah, I'll be like, oh, what's up? And yeah, sure, I'll be chill. Like there's one guy I met at a goth bar or whatever. Doesn't not really that goth. It's more alternative. A lot of normies go there. But there's a guy. He saw me when I was running in the middle of my 12-hour thing, and I was kind of dickish at first until I recognized him. And I was like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" And then I saw him again, and you know. But he at least knows. He knows I'm going through shit. He can see it in my face and everything. So, but at least I know him more. So then, yeah. But at first, I was a bit prickish because, I've had people tell me they want to kill me. They want to shoot me. You know, people trying to shame me and shit. People that I could snap the necks off of. you know, because that's the kind of world we're living in, unfortunately. And if people aren't threatening to kill you, I guarantee they're talking shit behind your back if you're truly different, if you truly stand out. Mind you, guys, people are jealous of me. They're bitter, they're parasites. So, yeah, when I train at night because I don't want to have these leeches around me. Same thing with work. Like, I don't want to be surrounded by leeches in the workplace, trying to fuck me over, trying to make me feel bad. I'm just trying to live, you know? It's that simple. And I think personally, having to do extracurricular shit outside of work just to make more money in work is also horseshit. You already have a job to do, but you know what? We have to, at some point in life while we're younger, make it work and just do it and get on with it and get it over with. Just my personal opinion. But it's easier if you can do that in the workplace. Kill two birds with one stone. If you have spare time at work and you can do extracurricular things for that's kind of my next plan. Um, because I can do it, but God, let's make it simpler and do it that way in the future. It's one of my plans. We'll see. But we've got a lot of it's hard to tell how much time is being spent recovering. It feels like every day I'm spending recovering from the previous day emotionally. A lot of this stuff around us is very emotionally draining, so much that I see horrific stuff as comforting now. I see horrific stuff as comforting, as kind of escapism from the boring, mundane world around us, too. So I'm trying to just live every day, not dwelling on the previous days before. But then when I see people online, full grown adults, talking about doing certain things to minors, to other minors, there was an adult telling a minor that he was going to, his girlfriend, who's also a minor, and I think he was even insinuating being SA, sexual assault. And these types of people like to gang stalk and harass other people in simple video games. So this shit's in your gaming. Then you have these cunts in the workplace, and then you have these basic bitch princesses. And then you have these sensitive people who are easily threatened and intimidated by stronger men. It's like, what? Did you think I was a girl? Did you think I was a tranny? I'm not that effeminate. I'm not bitch built. I'm just a thinner guy who can bench almost 100. That's my point that I'm trying to make here. There's a lot of judgmental people. There's a lot of parasites and pedophiles in your day to day society, in day to day life. You don't know these people. And I'm going to bet half the men who are fat as fuck, they have less self control. Yes, I think fat people, especially men, are the biggest parasitic hypocrites around you. And those are the types of people you got to watch the fuck out for in this society because they lack self control. And I don't know about you, but not projecting, just saying this. I've never been as sick as these types of people, but I will say this: the fatter you are, the less self control you have, the more indulgent you are, the sicker you are. And when we're talking about the sickness of gluttony, when we're talking about being insecure and looking like pure shit, those types of people are always the whiniest, male or female, the bitchiest, the most ungrateful. And I mean, because they're not trying to be their greatest self. That's what I mean when I say ungrateful. Being happy with goy slop is not being grateful, anyways. So they're the most ungrateful. You know, they're the slimiest douches. And They tend to be very insecure and always looking for handouts and doing one of two things: acting really tough to cope with their insecurity and weaknesses, right? It's pattern recognition. I'm not even that smart to be seeing this shit. I just have good pattern recognition, right? Or they're always begging for forgiveness. Very rarely. Now there is the third thing: they may just not give a shit. Just because they have housed or raised family doesn't mean I think that they're trustworthy suddenly. If anything, I'm thinking, oh God, your kids could be victims of your abuse. You could be physically or psychologically. We don't know. You don't know these people. Stop taking shit at face value. When you're talking to people online, in person, take these things into account. Now, I'm not saying antagonize, don't be an aggressor, live and let live, right? You can't control everything that's going on. You can't open up an investigation on people like this, because if you did, you'd be investigating 75% of society. But hey, just take into account, like, you know, poor health. Obviously, I'm not going to be speaking with anyone like this. Not in a million years. I'd rather cut my dick off and sacrifice myself to the devil than do that. Not going to do that, but I'm just saying, you know. So you don't know these types of people. At the very minimum, they're unfit to protect. Oftentimes, it takes more for them to function than the average person. Their body can't run on less. And they're being fattened up and like rammed to the slaughter. Because the system feeds you goy slop and it's conditioning you to be goyim. And I'm not talking about one specific religion. I'm just using that as an analogy for everyone here that exists right now. So that's something I consider. And I'm making the connection because there are good demons, right? And there are bad demons. And we're seeing a lot of negative demonic activity. Now, no demon's actually good, but there's a necessary evil and there's an evil that just cripples you. What do you think I'm talking about right now? I'm talking about the Abrahamic system. I'm talking about the Christian system. Why? Because the Christian system is pussifying and sterilizing society. And then they're the same people saying society needs to get ready. We're fighting a spiritual war. I think you're just talking about the spiritual war because you're losing the physical one. You've already lost a lot. Most of us have. But then they talk about the spiritual war. I'm just saying, that's true. But you also got to look at the demons right in front of you within your own self sometimes and say, hey, you've been run down by society. You're participating in what they're participating in. Don't participate in their own shit. Work on yourself, absolutely. But sometimes you just need to look in the mirror, myself included. I say that to myself all the time. Sometimes I have to ask myself, do I deserve to even be alive right now? Have I been too wasteful, indulgent, gluttonous? Simple things like switching up our diets. It's just, unfortunately, we're in a world that is very chaotic. It's spinning faster. We need to constantly self reflect and rethink ourselves. Like, how did we get here? Like, I'm not 30, but I am 24. It's been 10 years and I don't regret everything I've done. I've done a lot of things that I don't regret. You know, there are a lot of achievements, but there's still a lot fucking more that needs to be done and some things that I could have done better. Absolutely. There are still some regret there. Um, and I'm very psychologically fucked up right now from just the recent things I've seen. And I'm not talking about the Epstein files. I'm talking about what I've seen of just modern people. I see a lot more sickness and corruption with modern people than a few billionaires at the top. I'm not proud of those billionaires at the top. I don't like those billionaires at the top. I don't want to be in an industry that's anywhere fucking near those types of people. Because if you want to talk about where do they get their prey and all that, look in the industry and the disappearances magically of people there. Yes, make your own band, make your own brand. But if you in 2026, would I give myself to a record label? Me personally, no. And there's people who've done it. They're still out thriving and out doing well, phenomenal. But um, you know, if you're gonna be famous, be selectively famous is what I would say. And I would just leave it there, honestly. Be selective about how you're positioned in power, I guess, or how you accumulate that status. Because if you're not, now you owe people debt. Now you're in debt. You see what I'm saying? Is that popularity, status, and fame awarded to you by yourself or by someone else? This is why I don't like the submissive role that a lot of women still pander to till this day. They're trying to find a sense of liberation, and it's not to say that they never will, but it's going to take them at least another few thousand years to break their old patterns and find a worthy replacement. And I don't know, maybe women becoming feminists is all around the world, not just in some countries. Maybe that is nature's way of saying, hey, we actually need to depopulate the planet right now because there's just not enough useful people to go around. And if our planet is full of parasites and men can just get a woman and all this free shit, right, and continue producing subpar life, maybe the planet needs to be depopulated. Maybe nature is being a cunt, or maybe nature is just inverting on itself and evolution is going backwards, and actually strong men are being punished for trying to live. That's possible too. Reality is never as simple as it seems, but what I am simply saying is, hey, I don't trust it. I don't trust anyone. I don't trust people who give you compliments. I would not even trust a person who gives themselves to me so easily. But I also don't trust a person who is wasting their time with me and just playing games, and also so um, conservative and hesitant to give themselves to me, because then in my mind that tells me there's someone else. So it's like if someone gives themselves to me willingly, I don't trust them. If someone is hesitant to give themselves to me, I don't trust them. There has to be something else in the equation to trust anyone now, because from both sides, people are exploiting the system. People exploit withholding affection. People exploit you through mind games. People exploit you by throwing themselves at you, creating attachment. People exploit traditionalism. People exploit, what else? Fucking feminism. People exploit patriarchal structures. You see what I'm saying? From any side, people are just really fucking senile and untrustworthy. And it's not because they're edgy and satanic. The real demons look like your everyday average people, is what I'm trying to say. Just your everyday people are the demons. Average people, in my opinion, are the greatest aggressors. That's why I'm an antinomian, but I am also very disrespectful to the majority. I can't stand it. And even if I do tolerate it for a while, I just have to go back into great repression because I just get so drained. I'm like, you have no fucking goals. Why would I want to be around you? Get the fuck away from me. You know, you're wounding everyone around you because you're setting them up and comforting them to be failed, and there is no long-term consistency. You're just sitting here aging. Time isn't free. Oxygen isn't free. Like at the very minimum, create something, even if it is just recreational. Do something creative. It's not that hard. But a lot of people just don't have create any creativity. I could do anything creatively, from almost anything. Not maybe not, but a lot. I have a really large. I could go on about the creative things I can do well. I can go on and on, but I don't need to prove myself. I'm tired of proving myself to dipshits who don't even put out 25% of what I do. Granted, how do you think musicians feel about me? Which is why I don't want to be too clingy around them. But at least they know I can create something. I can't say the same about a lot of you. A lot of you haven't even created anything. Haven't even created a single song song cover, music video. Haven't even edited, like really put some time into editing a single music video. Haven't even filmed yourself out public in a creative way. Haven't even done a lot cosmetically or even have decent health. I mean, if you don't even have decent health, why would you sell yourself visually to people? You're already a fuck up if your health is shit and then you want to visually promote yourself. In my eyes, you're already a fuck up. Unless you have previous music and stuff that's selling and doing well, okay, I can understand that. But if you're just starting out and your health is shit and then you're selling yourself visually, I'm sorry, you're a fuck up. I don't think demons want a person who is in terrible health. I think any entity, good or bad, is gonna value that. So if you're trying to be a star, you've got to look good. I mean, you've got to look good. You've got to. I mean, if you're doing something ironically, that's one thing. But if you're serious, like, well, you should be, and that's just it. About something, you've got to value your health. That is the before anything. Health comes first before anything. It's that simple. I know people live in a world where they want pleasure and they want money and this and that, and I understand that, but you've got to put health first before anything. If your health was so bad as at birth that you couldn't, you know, breathe or exist, you wouldn't be here right now. If your health was that bad, your health was what helped you survive in your first few months of infancy as a infant out the womb till now. You've got to value your health. You should never sell your health to someone far lesser than you, health wise. For anything, you've got to value your health. If you're a slimy sack of shit, you're a slimy sack of shit. It's not rocket science. It's not in mathematics. It's instinct. It's instinctually understood. It's understood. This shit is understood at an instinctual level. People can dislike me for a lot of reasons, but on an instinctual level, if they were being honest right now, they would say that guy is healthier. He would be more fit to mate and create genetically healthier offspring, regardless of what he could provide. It's that simple. People should be thinking at that level and then considering other things. But I just don't think people are. I think people are sterilized. I think they're overly vaccinated. hmm I didn't take a single fucking shot in decades. So obviously I didn't take what was around in 2020. hmm Keep in mind, these people are really brittle too, even if they're not fat. Gross. Being thin is one thing. There are very attractive thin people too, don't get me wrong. But some of you thin guys look like Gollum now. Straight up. Straight fucking up. Have some frame. Fuck, man. Grow a pair. Have your balls dropped? Some of you are adults. Talking about. And you look like kids. You look like adolescents. The only reason sometimes I can't tell you're an adolescent if you're past the age of 20 or 30, I'd say, is because your skin isn't wrinkly yet. Your sagging dick and wrinkly skin, which women should not be attracted to, young women at least. That's gross. Is the only reason that I can't tell you're still a teenager. That I can't see if you're a teenager or not. That I can see that you're not a teenager. Sorry. And it's not necessarily guys in their 40s. They get some wrinkles. It's not even that. That's one thing. I'm talking about some of you are sagging, burned by the fucking sun, man. And physically run down. And not even thin. And then some of you, even then, it's like. Anyways, take your fashion seriously. At least have a healthy diet. I don't know. Some people can pull it off, but there's people that look thin and hot. Even like bare minimal body fat and really hot, like I'll admit. But then there's a lot of inbred looking people. Not trying to be superficial, but like, yeah, from a materialistic point of view, I can still call out what's going on with this realm and say, guys, what the fuck? And women, geez. You don't need to be a cunt just because you're attractive. Like, I'm attractive too. Fuck. Is there anything else going on with you? No. Okay. I don't even expect a traditionalist at all. I think it's really simple. Intimacy and friendship is all you really need from the opposite sex, male or female. Is it that hard? I guess a woman might need a little bit of a provider, but if I'm just being real. But I don't expect her to be some traditionalist household whore or naggy maid. But a lot of people expect a lot more than they're willing to give. That's just that simple. Most of you are total fucking parasites. If you have no goals or ambitions, even if you are suicidal, still create something. But if you have no goals or ambitions, why should anyone fucking care about you? Like, even if you are suicidal, if you're at least creating something cool, awesome, you know? Like I am, and I grieve, but that doesn't mean that I actually want anybody's, sympathy or approval. I make this, I guess, because I hope people can learn from this. Because I want to at least have somewhere where I've outlet my thoughts. But anyhow, enough said. Was eating my salad just now. Had a coffee. And honestly, if I'm being brutally honest, it is embarrassing to be alive. It's kind of dishonorable to be alive now. It's humiliating. So I'll get into the suicide shit now because I'm going to be expressing this, but I'm going to say it because this is the truth. And I mean, I just shared a lot of truth in the opposite, but now I'm just going to be honest. Being alive is humiliating. It's embarrassing. If I would live like many of you, I would kill myself. I have achieved a lot, and I still think I'm barely worth my existence. But, the one thing that stops me is I have to create. I have to. And you can kind of extract the feeling of suicide and depression and milk your own depression and and envy, emotions, whatever you feel, jealousy, bitterness, you can extract and kind of milk that and at least create something cool out of it till the end of your life, maybe even till the end of time. Imagine being a suicidal person that lives forever. Like, okay, so you're immortal, but always suicidal. That'd be fucking hilarious. Somebody who's suicidal but lives for like trillions of years. That'd be so dark. Most people at that point probably would kill themselves. Like, past the point of resurrection, right? Um, sometimes you have to walk that line. I get it. But that's just it. So that's why I wouldn't. But now let's look at, okay, why would people be that way, right? Because we got to teeter totter that line. So life is degrading. It's a humiliation ritual. It kills my soul to see modern people. It does sometimes make me wish I was dead when I see the world I'm in. Because why would you want to be alive in a world? Now, again, there are copes, there are ways to escape this or to supplement this, but let's just talk about it as it is. Let's take it all on the chin, right? Why would you want to be alive in a world that is lacking passion, that constantly fucks you over and lies to your face, that sells you broken dreams, that clowns on you? Why is this? What's going on here? I hear something. Oh, it's probably just my software. That sells you broken dreams. That basically tells you you're not good enough no matter what you do. That's constantly hating on you just for existing, just for no fault, through no fault of your own, constantly shitting on you, constantly trying to bully you, constantly trying to abuse you. I mean, the list of things goes on and on and on and on. You can be the best person, fucking phenomenal, and you'll never be rewarded. You'll never get what you deserve unless you manipulate the system, you know, unless you are lucky or manipulate the system or basically cheat the cheater. If you never fight fire with fire, you'll never get what you deserve. If you just do as you're told, you'll never get what you deserve. That's the truth. That's the fucking truth. So yeah, it's like you kind of have to be a relentless prick. And then you're putting out a lot of fire, but you have to find and kind of create your own circumstances where you can then recover. And you can't kill everyone who's fucking with you, so you have to choose your battles wisely. You really have to pick your battles, man, because there's so many people that you're gonna want dead, but you can't kill them all. And I'm not trying to like promote that, but that's just that's how many corrupt people are really around you who've committed felonies, who are, rapists, abusers that want to do that around you. You don't fucking know. So it's like, yeah, who would want to fucking live in a world like that? In a disgusting world that's gross to look at. Your five senses are telling you, I don't like what I hear. I'm repulsed by what I see. It smells terrible. I can almost taste how bad it smells in the food if I order the wrong food. But that last one, you know, if you're complaining about food, unless, okay, well, and you're eating goy slop you, and you're choosing, because you can get cheap ass anyways. I don't know. Everyone has their unique situations, but you can pretty much find. But yeah, so there are ways to supplement and get around this. There are, but in many ways, you are being tortured from all angles, from all fronts. You are. Now, like I said, there are a lot of solutions. You can get really good weed, really good sedatives, and go to the gym and have a good time if you're not around a bunch of dumb if you're not around a bunch of insufferable dipshits, you know, if you schedule accordingly, yeah, you can have a party, you can have a good time, right? It's those high highs that really keep me from completely just ending it all, if I'm being honest with you guys. It's those high highs and the amount of emotional depth and creativity in the unknown, in that darkness, that keeps me from actually killing myself. Personally, it's the darkness. But most of you, you're blasting yourselves with radiation, sunlight, this, that, overstimulation, people constantly staring left and right. Some ting hong staring at you, or, you know, you got all these foreigners trying to with you. Their breath smells. You can, when you can taste their breath, man. That's a ugh. That's a disgusting parasite right there. Like, Jesus Christ, dude. Did you fuck a fat bitch and eat her asshole? Like, why does your breath smell seriously? You know, Sam Tang Huang Ting Hong, or you got Pajit, or, you know, just anyways. So yeah, you know, I can go on and on. I don't think I need to, but if you can't see the sewer for what it is, you know, I walk around and I see a lot of people in bad shape. It's disheartening. When I see an old naked man in the locker, I'm like, put on some fucking clothes or I'll fucking kill you, sever your anyways. You know, because it's disgusting to see. Like, nobody wants to see that. I want to fucking kill you. You should be killed for, like, some of you are so fucking ugly. You should be fucking killed just for being exposed in your disgusting state, sack of shit state around me. You should be fucking killed. Like, they, I don't know. I know it's a locker room and people are allowed to do it, but it's like, you should be fucking killed for making us bear the side of your bare ass. You should be fucking killed. So that's how I feel about people, truthfully. I'm very apathetic because it's like, weak, pussy, faggot, weak, weak. Like, I'm actually, I'm not gonna say I'm very gay. Well, I'm just hypersexual, period. But I don't like weak people. They're a turn off. Hairy people, turn off. Minus the head hair, turn off. Just if you turn me, disgusting, disgusting. I can smell you. My God, someone should put fucking rounds through your. Just take a fucking. Not even that. To take a fucking flamethrower and just purify them. Because if you shoot someone, their body still reeks. They're there. I'd rather them be flamethrower because you can burn away the smell of their. You know what I mean? Because they smell so bad. If you burn them instead, you can kind of just burn off all the. Anyways, we're getting a little explicit for YouTube. This is truthfully like, because it reeks, man. It's constantly harassing my nose, and I have to smell it day in day out. And I'm like, can't these just disgusting like migrants who don't belong here? I'm talking about like the nasty ones who don't have any hygiene, who are always stripping ass naked, like, but well, they're, you know, smiling about their communist shit. Can they just burn? They don't belong here. They look at me like I'm a foreigner, like, motherfucker. But what's the slur for Sheng Kong, motherfucker? You and your ancestors came here after mine. Don't judge me, piece of shit. Like, you smell, your bare ass is naked for everyone to see. You want to do us a fucking favor and burn? Because you're acting like a communist right now, the way you're looking at me. You're acting like a fascist communist piece of shit. I don't give a shit what you are. Just burn. I can kill you. You know, that's how I feel about these types of people, because they're disgusting and they reek. It's that simple, man. It's not even like a world that's oppressive. It's a disgusting world too that's oppressing you if you're different. I don't give a shit if I'm attractive. I'm not gay, but I will take your dick off and shove it down your, cut your dick off if you keep looking at it. Like how I am with these types of people. Don't touch me or I'll kill you. Stay 10 feet away from me. Don't even look my way. If I know you, keep looking or I can kill you. Is how I am with these types of people. Average people, I hate them. Sorry, but I don't think average people know how to act. No. Call me paranoid, call me whatever you want, call me a psychopath. But they keep, it's like constant harassment, day in, day out. I don't care anymore. I just don't. That's why, even though, yes, I do work, I stay fucking isolated because I just cannot handle. I can handle momentary confrontations, like, yes, but on a routine, no. That's why I don't work around people very often. No. You're an ugly piece of shit. Take care of your health. No. I'm suicidal because I have to exist in a world surrounded by many of you. You're killing my dreams, and frankly, you're in between me and what I do genuinely love unconditionally. So fucking kill yourself. Or I is how I, unless you move out the way, is how I look at most of these people now. You're a direct threat. As far as I'm concerned, most of you have fucked with my ancestors, have wronged my types of people, have wronged me. So, yeah, I'm vengeful. Yeah, I hate most of you passionately. And I'd honestly off myself to get away from you, but there's people that I love unconditionally that I have to fight for and get, and I can't get to them if you're in my way. You've created a society that's either conditioned them to be nothing. I don't know. It just, I can't mentally heal until I am completely separated from most of you or see you dead or forget you exist. But I don't know if I can because you're everywhere now in every part of life. So, yeah, it saddens me. It really does. It deeply breaks my heart that these people are alive. Yeah, I know. Just the fact that they're alive saddens me. And it makes me almost cry that they're knowing that they're alive because they shouldn't be. They shouldn't. These mouth breathers shouldn't be. That's how I feel about modern people now. Like just seeing you kills the imagination. It kills the creativity. So, um, yeah, yeah. That's where I've been at. It's beyond just saying things are bleak. No, things have been bleak. Things will always be bleak if these types of people are allowed to live. Okay. At the very minimum, we need segregation beyond just racial. We need segregation between spiritually inclined people, creatives. This is why we created subcultures. This is why culture is a thing. It wasn't forced upon people, but people naturally fell in line or were in the lanes of the things that they enjoyed. And it was that simple. And we should have that and we should be promoting that. And in some ways we do. But it's hard to see that when everything is overshadowed by mediocrity, social media. You see what I'm saying? The tool is used to help us organize and navigate, but now people are jumping between different categories. We have a lot of posers in every culture and scene. Everything's being mishmashed and mixed so much that now people of the original groups can't, you guessed it, find their own tribe. So that's why I'm such a prick because um, nowadays I have to be. It's survival of what I value or them. And in many cases, yes, I am imperfect. But would I call myself a total parasite? No. because I'm not over consuming, over indulgent, over gluttonous. I'm not a person who skips a day at work just randomly. I tend to work more extra days than I take off beyond what my schedule is. So, yeah. Things to consider, my people. If I have any people left, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe my kind are extinct. Ooh, this will be a good visual. Yeah, that'll look fucking phenomenal in the edit. I'll use that. See, this is what life's about, looking for the good things, but man, they are few and far in between. You have to really have the eyes to see. If you don't, you're fucked. That's where knowledge is good. But it's the mission first. The mission, the objective, the goal gives you the direction. Then everything else comes into play. But you first have to have the vision. You have to be able to foresee it, and then you can find things that will help you actually see it. And, I'm sure life will get a lot better if I'm being honest. But it's probably going to get worse. And I'm not talking about the false hope, worse before better. I'm just saying individually for me, that's probably the case. On an individual level, yes, it's going to get worse before it gets better. I can't complain too much because, as much as all this sucks, at least I'm making some of the darkest shit I've ever made. And I've broken new ground. And slowly but surely, I am making progress. But it's very slow and minimal, and it feels very far away from where I want to be ultimately. It's progress, but it's tiny in comparison. That's really fucking with my mental health because I just don't know how long I can hold out and tolerate all this shit around me. But you can't kill yourself if you're improving either, because that's just not logical. So, yeah, it's fucking with my mental health because I just don't know who I can really talk to anymore. I don't know who's actually here and really, like, really, what's the word? Really going for it. Who's trying to resist. And it takes so much more time now to recover psychologically and physically from everything around me. I don't know if I'm more sensitive or feel more purposeless or what, but yeah, life is a humiliation ritual, to say the least. It really is. Don't trust anything you see. I mean, unless you want to be let down. That's what I would say. Like, don't even trust people on YouTube who are giving all these chosen one spirits. I'm talking about like really don't trust. They all know. I don't even trust them. There are a lot of hypocritical people. Don't even trust me per se. You don't know my interests. You don't know my goals. Other videos kind of illustrate and highlight that, but yeah, you don't even know my goals. You don't even know which sects of Satanism I'm tied to. What I even believe, I don't even fully understand it all yet, but I know I'm a part of it, and I know I'm not turning back. It resonates with who I am on a deep level, much deeper than Christianity ever got to. And I don't even think I want to turn back now. Why would I? Life would be so boring and uneventful and just like everyone else. And in this short life, I'm not going to waste what little time I have on being some what's the word on being a pretentious dumb fuck, soy soft, peaceful, fucking no, no. There's got to be some angst. There's got to be some grit. There's got to be some what's the word? Something greater, something adrenalating going on, something thrilling, something exhilarating, something captivating. You got to feel it from your toes to your spine, right? A lot of you in this truther community, you're not really up for that challenge. You just pretend. You play make believe. We're going to fight the system. You're not doing shit. You can't even get past the conscious mind. And then there's the unconscious. Right? I always say get past the conscious mind. A lot of you think everything is done in the conscious. No, it's not. You need to understand the unconscious and you need to master the unconscious. I'd argue even consciousness, like get past that. I don't know. I'm gonna go watch. Uh, I'm actually curious. I'm gonna study more about Chester's passing, but I'm also gonna look at fucking Shengel Thunder's channel because whatever he told that clearly Area Trance couldn't handle. I'm not blaming him for Area Trance's passing, but there was stuff that Area Trance couldn't clearly handle. Imagine me, but more paranoid and emotional and bitchy. Maybe I actually have been friends with Area Trance, but obviously, uh, no. But there were things that Area Trance clearly couldn't handle that I'm sure I could probably handle, even if it's hard to hear. That I'm sure. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just speculating. Maybe Area Trance couldn't handle whatever Shango Thunder was showing him, and maybe there's something to be found there. I'm not saying I trust the guy, but there's probably some actual insight someone like him may have. It's worth it. I don't trust the whole God system, but I'm not calling him a person of Yahweh. But there's probably some truth, some creative inspiration I could get from his stuff because he seems more serious about this stuff than most people. Yeah, so I'm gonna end the stream and I'm gonna go explore that, looking for someone or something more interesting right now. Not saying I trust any of these guys. I'm just saying I am looking for greater knowledge right now in this stuff because I am lost and I'm not editing a song about that. Ha 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 ha. No, it's gonna be a cool edit. I'll look into it.